10 Americans above the age of high schoolers are, or rather is, on antidepressants. Between the ages of 40 and 50, the number dips into 1 in 4 women. 1 in 4 women in America between the ages of 40 and 50 on antidepressants. Let that sink for a moment. A lot of us are mothers in that range. And why? Physicians say that's not merely because they fit the criteria that dictates if they're applicable for certain forms of treatment, but rather these people are going in to clinics and are demanding more and more antidepressive pills, Prozac, and the whole spectrum of medication that allows them to regulate their emotions. Feeling down, pop a pill. Had a breakup, pop a pill. Lose your job, pop a pill. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk to you not just about emotions, or rather one specific emotion that I think in our modern life we have discarded and we have put away. I'm here to talk to you about one particular emotion that has taken a backseat, one that we think is not just useless, but a bad part of what it means to be human. I'm here to talk to you today about anger. And you can feel some hesitance. Anger. It's a word that's familiar to us. And we feel shame when we exhibit anger. It's a very strong physiological thing. Have you been so angry before that you feel the taste of anger in your mouth? From Boston University, psychologist Brad Ford conducted such an experiment. He brought in participants into his lab and he did something called emotional induction. What that means is he played music to induce certain forms of anger. And he got them to write down about experiences where they exhibited anger. So they reflect on memories of anger. Of course, for me, that would be maybe playing some Justin Bieber songs on loop, or me writing about an experience where I listened about Justin Bieber on loop. But not just that. He did not stop there. He had a control group where he made them listen to neutral music and to write down neutral memories. He had a group where they wrote down memories to do with excitement, memories to do with positive memories. What he found out was pretty astounding. In the test, he put eye trackers to see which aspects of the environment the participants were noticing. He gave them a computer screen where two images were flashed simultaneously. One image would show a threat, perhaps someone brandishing a knife. Another image would show something positive. Of course, in the psychologist's mind, positive usually tends to be a couple having sex. But perhaps they filter in some other images, neutral images. So 3 pairs in various combinations. Threat, positive. Threat, neutral. Neutral, positive. And once again, what you found out is pretty interesting. The eye trackers determined that those people who were angry tended to notice positive images more. People who were conditioned for fearful images tended to notice threats. And of course, compared to the baseline, the positive people, statistically, were the angry ones. What is it about anger that makes you an optimist? Isn't this a contradiction in what you've been taught? Anger gives you focus. Anger charges you up. Anger, through its discovery, has allowed us to determine one fundamental fact of what it means to be human. That we evolved in the African savannah. All our emotions had a part to play. Everything had function and purpose, just like the tail at the back of a monkey. Sadness, to help you understand loss. Joy, to push you to success. And there's just the two fundamental ones. What about the wide spectrum of other human emotions? We have schadenfreude, shame, embarrassment, and anger. Anger allows you to to be optimistic, to see an obstacle and to persist in the face of that obstacle. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave you one functional explanation for anger. Now I'm about to move on to the second bit. So what? So what if I'm optimistic? I don't want to see a lion there and go and confront it, thinking, you know what, I might have a chance to kick that lion's ass. I don't want optimism, I want fact. I'm here to give you anger as a strategy for life. Anger shouldn't be judged on the small mistakes it makes. Sure, it might offend some people, you might step on a couple of toes. But anger should be judged on the payoff. You may, if you go through your life fighting when your emotional impulse directs you, when you feel anger and you stand up for something that deeply offends you, if you fight for something that wounds your ethical sense, you can go to bed every night not feeling unprincipled, feeling like you've led an honorable life. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a Buddhist aphorism that says, being angry is like grabbing hot coals to throw it to someone else. You only burn yourself. What I would like to offer to you today is an extension of this aphorism, that perhaps, sometimes, having burnt fingertips is a good price to pay to change the world. Because how else are you going to change the world if you are not angry? Thank you. Woo!